Who's in the room? Is there somebody else here?
This was, in general, this is the first time that during a paranormal investigation, the previous two had been quite active. I myself had been quite energetic, but in this one, as the day progressed, I found myself becoming more lethargic, and it was more difficult for me to maintain that kind of enthusiasm. I have no idea why, but I attribute it possibly to the place that we were in. I have a feeling, I kept on getting the feeling that something may have been draining me a little bit because I'd been so enthusiastic. And this was the first time that we used the Kinect, and that was very exciting. And we actually caught quite an interesting, well, it was the first time that we used it, but also the first time that we caught something using the Kinect.
But then Jonathan decided to take a go, and we just pointed it towards him, and all of a sudden, there was just a figure stood right beside him. It was really tall, looked really creepy, and it just kind of lurched over his head and then just completely disappeared. And again, for the first time of using Kinect and for the first time of experiencing that, it was amazing.
Do you want me to...
Right.
Brian, do you want to hold it?
Oh, I can already,
Sam, this doesn't catch Jonathan, right? Look at the screen. Can you see Jonathan? Raise your hand up, Jonathan. You see? It's mapping him in a skeletal form. And what we're going to do is put you in front of it.
In front of it.
And if anything manifests around you... Hang on.
Yeah, it's the wall.
No, but it shouldn't be mapping a human figure, Lee. It's the way it works. It shouldn't be mapping. That's a human figure.
Oh, it just kicks the ghost.
That shouldn't be doing that.
Let's see what happens to it.
Even if it's mapping
It
the
looks
wall.
like something's crawling over you.
Yeah. That was a figure. And I'm not joking.
But we were just playing around, and this form climbed over Jonathan's head, and that shocked us all. So this was the first time we'd used the Kinect. But then, again, as the evening went on, we were getting more and more was happening. The EMF detectors were starting to go crazy.
So let us know you're definitely here again.
But this room seems
Heavy.
in the chest. It's difficult to explain it in using words. That was the wind.
It's a draft.
Just put that on record.
EMF in here.
Yeah,
Nothing at all.
back. This is going to be a little bit loud. It is a spirit box. This is a device that's used for communication with spirits. It's just a hacked radio with no aerial, which will just give out a field of white noise by sweeping through radio frequencies. And with any luck, voices will come through answering our questions. So I'm just going to... There's a lot of radio frequencies. Is there anybody here except for us three? There's a lot of interference. There's a lot of interference. Hay demasiada radio.
Too much radio interference.
No, ideally there would be nothing, but it's impossible. Even with the aerial removed from the radio, it still picks up on so many radio frequencies. We can't use it.
Well, the Jib Telecom.
Yeah.
Well, that explains it.
The Jib Telecom massive aerial is just out there. So
we'll have to use Echo Box.
Now, the problem with that is paravolia, which is your mind trying to make sense out of madness, really. So you will hear something even though nothing's actually there. So there might just be a jumble of voices, and you think you'll hear your name or whatever it is, but it's not actually happening. So because there's so many radio frequencies, and my ears particularly aren't quite so attuned to it, I wouldn't really want to use the spirit box because it wouldn't really be authentic.
And in itself, that part of the investigation was probably one of the best ones we've had, because the activity was just so constant, and not only constant but consistent as well. We managed to catch the MK meters where they were just repeatedly, all playing off each other, and not in just one location, in more than one.
There's been a presence of living here at some time.
I just got a bit of a shiver Yeah, like
Yeah.
a really, really cold feeling down my back, and I've never, I swear, in the 2
It's
years
really
I've been
strong,
doing this program,
Jonathan. The
I've
energy that I'm
never,
dealing with
ever,
is very,
ever
very intelligent.
you know, I always play a pretty
Yeah.
safe role.
I don't want to get drawn in to thinking that something is a paranormal activity when perhaps it isn't. I try to keep cold and distant. But this was the first location where I actually felt something. I felt a cold crawling up my spine.
A little bit slower. So, to understand what was happening. There was a lot of spirit that had been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. And one thing that I was aware of immediately as I approached with Brian and Lee was that we were being affected. Machines were being affected. We were drawn instantly, this very, very tall, dominant man, from what I recall channeling, drew us to an area which was near stairs. Struggling with this. Spirit's struggling with this. That's what I'm
The usual tingling, you know, and the hairs rising up and everything else. But there was a lot of oppressive atmosphere there. We even tried, because of the way that everybody was feeling, we even tried to put a trigger object, which is the first time we've done that, that was very unsuccessful. Obviously, we didn't actually catch anything on trigger object itself.
Getting that chill again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into getting that chill
Something
now.
about you.
I'm getting a huge chill down my spine now.
There was just a certain set of stairs that Sam picked up on, and she said there was a certain energy, there was a certain entity there, and he was a negative entity, and he was wanting to push people down the stairs, so that's where we concentrated our efforts. And at one point, we had 2K2 meters. I was stood at the bottom of the stairs, Lee had made his way about halfway up with Sam, and Sam started channeling.
We've got now the names and maybe we can, I now know that he was quite tall.
Yeah, he was very tall, yes. Yeah, well, if we can get names out of the echo box that
Mm,
correspond to, yeah, definitely.
Right, so he's Sir James Somerville, Admiral of the Fleet.
Okay, see what we do. We want to head up upstairs here?
Yeah, there's something about the stairs that
Carry
I
on,
was attracted to.
My first,
Need to go up, so I'm
Sir
going to...
James. I'm just starting to get a spike now.
yeah.
Just
Okay.
start. Yeah.
Doing this again on the stairs.
The spiking. It's going off the scale again.
It's hurting my hand to even interpret his energy.
Pass your message on. This day. You don't know what recordings are.
It's very, very responsible. I've not felt that on this much remorse from any spirit I've channeled ever, even with suicide channelings when I've channeled suicide. The amount of remorse this man has got is huge. Huge.
As the evening went on, all of this kind of activity just increased and increased and increased, and I think it just took a toll.
Would you like to have more energy of control? Yes, you would, wouldn't you?
The one that Brian here is holding in front of you.
Do you want us to call you Sir James?
Yeah.
Yes. Sir James, is that your title?
Ah.
Just Sam, that's we had to go and getting that chill again.
Yeah.
I'm just holding his energy for a minute, Jonathan.
So James, is there something you want to say to us?
No.
Do you want us to leave this place, Sir James? Can you please repeat that, Sir James?
Just leave the simple group.
Can you say my name? What's my name?
Leave. Just leave.
You want to throw me over the stairs, aren't you?
Sam was just, again, she was picking up on this entity, it was a negative entity, and we were just asking basic questions, and then all of a sudden there was just a female voice that came from nowhere, and it was none of the crew. The only female member of the crew that was there was Sam herself, and it was just what it said. It was a voice, and it just seemed so surprised in what we were doing, and it was just, again, I have never heard an EVP like that before.
Are there more than 100 here with you?
Don't leave her.
Me. What?
Do you want Samantha to get out? Do you want Samantha to leave?
I'm not sure if it was bewilderment that she was experiencing at what was going on, or if there was intent that we couldn't perceive because it was caught on a digital recorder. But she said, "Fuck me." And again, we're not sure what she meant when she said that, but it was clear as day. And it's possibly, as I said, you know, one of the most profane things I've ever heard coming through these devices.
Can you show us that you're here? Can you make these lights go out again? Could you make them shine up again?
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Get out.
Please.
Get out, please, people.
If you want us to leave, you're gonna have to do better than just speaking into that device. Make a noise, tap on something, close this door in front of me. If you can close this door, we'll leave. Out. Is it women that you don't like? Is that why you were trying to hurt Samantha? The hairs on my arms are starting to stand up. I'm feeling charged.
And you can use our energy. Welcome to use our energy.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Oh. Who's in this room with us now? Give us your name. Can you say one of our names, please?
Lee.
What about Brian? Can you say the name Brian? There's a lot of people that don't think you exist. If you can make that device say the name Brian, you'll be proving them wrong.
Stop close. Close down.
Okay, I think it's gone. I think it's gone. I caught my second wind towards the end of it, but it was the first time I'd felt physically attacked, I think, you know, and drained, which was definitely strange.
You've probably walked past or driven past Flat Basilisk magazine hundreds or thousands of times in your life without even knowing it exists. Next week on The Ghost Trail, we're going to find out what happens inside this building when the lights go out.